Hey everybody, I'm Mike Gafa, part of the Luminex team, and on today's whiteboard, we're going to look at identity plus velocity equal vitality. Identity plus velocity equal vitality. It's something that we in Luminex have been kind of kicking around. We believe this to be true. That churches that understand who they are, who their identity is, and we'll think about what those components are, and are moving in a particular direction with some velocity, will become churches that have vitality. And so let's think about this. You see this circle here, it works together. There's two halves of one circle. Think of this half as the identity half. And so systems thinking, and hopefully you've been able to tune in to John Messer's multi-part series on systems thinking. If you haven't, go back and watch it. It's great stuff and your church will benefit. And when the book is out, buy it. It's Burnout to Breakout. Shameless plug. There you go. Mission is vitally important, and mission, we know, is essentially God-given. It's God-breathed. It's to go, therefore, and make disciples. So the mission is to make disciples, but context matters greatly. And so the context, we can think of it this way. The mission of disciple making is going to look different in China or Africa or an urban church than it will in a rural church of 80. And it'll look different from one urban church to another. In fact, we would dare say that every church has a unique context. And so the mission is common, and yet context matters. So that's part of understanding your identity. And then there are values. So what are your core values? What are those things, maybe 3, 4, 5 values that are so essential, so foundational that you'll safeguard those? And they'll be sort of a funnel, if you will, for decision making, for making those real essential key leadership decisions, core values. And then up top here we have vision, strategy, and measures. And they're up top because they kind of straddle the line between identity and velocity. And so vision is just that. It's vision. It's what we believe God would be leading us to pursue in the future. What is the Holy Spirit inspiring in us? 7 years out, 3 years out, 1 year out, 90 days out. We can help you with that. In fact, we can help you with all this. This is what we do at Luminex. But that's vision. Strategy is, how do we go about the mission? How do we go about the mission? There's many ways to go about making disciples. Strategy is how we do it. And then measures answer the question of, how do we know when we're effective? How do we know when we're achieving the goals or the objectives that we're setting out? All of this, including these things here, are part and parcel to understanding your identity as a church. And in this case, they start moving you in the direction of mission attainment. And so we form plans and initiatives. They become clear. There's strategic equipping. And we know biblically that we're to equip the saints for ministry. We know that. But strategic equipping would say we know that, and we also understand who we are, our identity. And so our equipping is strategic because it takes into account who we are and where specifically we need to focus on. And so it's a little bit more, that's why we add the word strategic. And then leadership development, because, you know, pastors come and go, leaders cycle in and out. We need to be intentional about developing leaders to perpetuate and advance the ministry that we've been called to do. And then succession planning, same idea. Are we thinking ahead? Here's the mistake that a lot of churches make. It's one or the other of these. Is they may have some clarity around who they are. They may understand, you know, some of their own systems stuff, what keeps them stuck. They may have looked in the mirror a good long time and gone, okay, we kind of understand a little bit about ourselves. They may even understand their mission in context, possibly their values, some of these things here, but they're still stuck. There's not velocity, there's not forward movement. So it's like, you know, the passage in James about a man who looks in a mirror and he forgets who he is because he's not doing anything about it. And it's the same idea. So Yeah, we may know who we are, but if we're not doing anything with that, we'll forget who we are because we're not moving forward with that. On the other hand, our churches that just want to move. And so they don't invest the time to really understand who it is, who their unique identity, what their unique identity actually is. And so there's movement, but it's not velocity. It's something more like motion. And here's the difference. Velocity is moving toward a specific target. You know exactly what direction you're traveling, and you're moving toward it. Motion is just that. It's motion. You may be wavering all over the place. So yeah, you're moving. You're just not moving toward a specific goal or target or vision or mission. And that's movement for the sake of movement, isn't it? And so identity and velocity in combination will lead to vitality. And that's your whiteboard for today. Thanks for listening.